the other hand, it'll be nice to see familiar faces. But once the game starts, it'll be just like another road game, basically. I mean, maybe it's a little bit different for Deshaun, I'm not sure. But I worked in, or coached in Frankfurt for almost 5 years. So it's, you know, it's nice to see people that you worked with, players you coached, and the fans that supported you. As far as the game is concerned, it'll be a good challenge for us. I mean, we're looking to really find our way, in a way. Find our way. I mean, I thought our defense and rebounding was much improved last game. And that was a lot to do with effort. Obviously, the basketball part is a work in process. But with effort, it'll come quicker.
Is it just a matter of getting routine, or is it rather a team finding its character?
I think there's a few things. One, we have to get habits, habits on the practice floor. Not what we do, but how we do things. Defensively, offensively, rebounding the ball, running the floor, our habits. Two, I think, you know, we have 10 players who can play, 10 players who can score. It's a matter of sacrificing game to game. Whereas, you know, like I've said before, offense is not equal opportunity. Every game will be a little bit different. But defense, we have to, you know, we have to have 10 players playing defense, 10 players running the floor, 10 players rebounding the ball, 10 players being able to execute a half-court offense.
Are you referring to having establishing when you say that hierarchy, or does the team has to do that themselves? I mean,
no, we've talked about roles. I mean, we have roles, and we've talked about roles with each player, and you know, but they're not carved in stone. One being that the 3 national team players came back, and so it was a little. It's, you know, but it's going to take some time for us as a team to find our identity. A little bit longer than I hoped and I thought, but it's going to take a little bit of time. We're still searching for what's our identity.
Probably you see it already on the horizon. How will the team be as soon as it's established?
No, you know, obviously I'd like to see a team that defends very well, rebounds well, plays with discipline. A team that plays with a lot of energy and enthusiasm and toughness. Whether we get all those things or not, we'll see. You can't be great at everything. And if you try, you're not going to get there. You know, we have to become great at a few things. There's no way we can become great at 5 or 6 or 7 different things. You know, I've always said that you become great at 2 or 3 different things.
Do you mean never, or do you mean in this situation, never?
Never. I mean, because what are you going to emphasize in practice? We teach a lot of things as coaches, but it's not what we teach, it's what we emphasize. And you can't emphasize. You can't become a great offensive team and a great defensive team in 1 year or 2 years. It's usually going to be one or the other. Bamberg's an example where they've become pretty good at a lot of different things, but they've had the same coach the same base of players for 3-4 years now, because they have habits. They have habits. They have developed habits.
So what is it you emphasize right now?
No, we try to emphasize 3 things. 1, defense. 2, rebounding. And 3, being able to execute the offense, half-court offense. We talk about, when I say execute the half-court offense, we talk about things we do before we shoot the basketball. Will depend. The things we do before we shoot the basketball will dictate what kind of shot we get. It will dictate what kind of offensive rebounding situations we get. It will dictate, can we get our defense set. So that's those 3 things we emphasize.
Excuse me, what is it then that you don't emphasize? I mean, this is defense, this is offense.
No,
what is it you don't emphasize? Is there anything you?
No, we teach a lot of the individual things and this and that, but we emphasize. It's not a whole lot. There's a ton of other things involved in basketball, but we teach. We're trying to emphasize those 3 things right now. And I believe in 3s. I don't. We do things in 3s. Once you get to 4s or 5s, it becomes too much for players and coaches too.
Coming back to the Frankfurt game, do you think it's a little strange or special that you coach Frankfurt, Moody coached ALBA? Do you see that's maybe a little special situation? Or?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a strange situation how we traded places, I think. I don't know. It's not very often that something like that happens within the same league.
Do you expect that you will be national then in Frankfurt, or do you think it's just your job?
No, I think it'll be good to see other players, and players I coached last year, and people I worked with, and the fans. Some fans still email me from Frankfurt and this and that, and so but once the game starts, it's just like another road game. It's not going to.
When you watch the tapes of the Frankfurt games so far, but what you still see the team you coached some 2 weeks ago, or is it completely different?
To tell you the truth, I haven't watched any tape yet.
Okay. None of any games.
I haven't watched 1 game of Frankfurt this year, so I have no idea.
But you will watch some.
I will. But one of our assistant coaches has been working on Frankfurt, and right now I'm focusing, almost 100% on our team. Especially in the beginning of the season, it's not what the other team's doing; it's what you're doing, and it's about us doing things better. And obviously, I'll watch some tape tonight and tomorrow, but. Our focus, we went into the tubing game and we focused 90% on us. We did a little bit on tubing, but we wanted to focus on us. And I think, especially in the beginning of the season, that's very important because we're still learning our system. We're still learning each other.
Are you always working like that? Or?
No, I spend a lot. When we prepare for another team, we spend time defensive actions. As coaches, we want to know everything, what the other team does. But we don't give everything to the players. We give certain things to the players on the other team. So when we prepare for a team, we work on defensive actions first of all. What are their offensive actions? We work on our defensive actions, make sure we know what we want to do on the defensive end. It's about our defensive system, just reviewing our defensive system basically. We go 5-on-5 on ball screen plays. We go through some plays. We go walkthroughs, and then we end it with a video session on what we've done on the floor. Video session on how they play, what their personnel is, what they do offensively, what they do defensively, and we prepare for that. Beginning of the season, it depends how much. It depends on preparation, how much we do. where we are in the season. Do we have 2 games a week? How many days do we have? It all depends. The worst thing we can do as coaches sometimes is give too much information to the players, and then we lose our aggressiveness. But I've always been big on preparing for the other team and this and that, so this is a little bit against my philosophy a little bit, what I'm doing now, but this is where we're at. You know, we have to get better at what we're doing. It's not so much what the other team's doing, it's what we're doing. We have to get better at it.
But in this case, you know some of the players from Frankfurt, and some of the players here know Coach Katsuan. So you talk to any players, you know, Heiko, Derek, who was here.
No. I mean, you know, our assistant coaches will do the work, and if there's any questions, they might ask a question here or there. But we played Berlin quite a bit last year when I was in Frankfurt, so I think we know each other pretty well as far as what each other does. No, I think there's still 3 players there who played a lot for us last year, or had big roles in our team last year, so I know them pretty well. But I don't know any of the other players. Like I said, I haven't watched tape, but I will.